Motherfucker.
Hold up, I hope y'all watching this shit.
First round, real quick.
That are in those training rooms.
Real quick.
But now we're gonna get a good. I'm not fucking with this guy. To me, I thought he was a con artist, just based off his look. Holy shit! What the hell just happened?
What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo's Wrestling Room, voice of Indiana Independent Wrestling. Here, Tuesday, December 21st, 2021. Have a big show planned today. Have a pro wrestler, Eric Valkry, joining us. How you doing today?
Doing awesome. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Been staying busy.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, though.
Oh, always, especially around this time.
So, how long have you been in the wrestling business?
Altogether, I've actually been in the wrestling business off and on for about 10 years. But when I first started out, I was more of a part-timer. And to be honest, I only got booked maybe once about every 3 or 4 months. And then whenever MPG opened up and I started with them, I finally became full-time. So I've been doing that for about 6 months to a year.
You wrestle any other promotions besides MPG?
I started out training and wrestling in WCWO in Indianapolis, and then there was a promotion that was open for a little bit called Apex Wrestling in Michigan that I wrestled for too.
Excuse me. So you got who trained you there at WCWO? Was that with Basher?
Basher, Pogo, and Easy Cruz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pogo
was my main trainer.
I like Pogo. We go down to WCWO. We've been going down there quite a bit to watch on Friday nights.
Oh, that's awesome. They put on some pretty good shows.
Yeah, I just think it's great that there's an independent place like that goes every week. You don't see that very often. It's nice.
Yeah, those guys go pretty hard.
So right now, do you wrestle any other place, or are you just strictly at MPG?
Right now, strictly MPG. I have been talking to a few guys from Crash Tested Wrestling, and I definitely have my eyes set on that place here soon. So I'm actually going to go watch a few of my wrestling friends on the next show and possibly maybe see what I can do from there.
Where's Crash Tested at?
I want to say I can't actually remember where exactly it's at. I'm still kind of newer to the crash tested scene. I know it's over there a little bit above Gary.
Okay,
Um,
so it's up north.
yeah,
I'll have to check. I'll have to check into that. That's one. That's a place I think I've seen something on social media one time about them, but I didn't really know much about them.
yeah, they're another promotion with some pretty good talent, pretty new and upcoming, but fresh and good. A lot like we at MPG like to do as well.
Yeah,
It's always good to see that.
yeah. We enjoyed that when we came down a couple weeks ago. That was the first time we'd been to MPG show. And, I mean, we enjoyed it. We were looking forward to coming back.
Awesome. Oh yeah. I mean, you go back to our old videos and it goes from, all these not many fans coming, not a very big venue, not a very good place to going to Comic Con and just growing within the last 6 months. And it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, I know the next show we're gonna have another real good card on it. So I mean, with the talent that you guys are bringing in, you'd think that it's just gonna keep growing and growing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What?
Definitely. No.
Oh, go ahead.
Good.
What got you into the wrestling business?
Whenever I was younger, my dad was obsessed with wrestling. So growing up, I just, I watched it with him. And when I was about 12 or 13, I had a cousin that was a lot like a brother to me. And instead of not only not taking the do not try this at home, not seriously, we basically mocked it. We had garages that we would put on matches. We would come out of the garage or my bedroom bloody, actually, and laughing about it. And my mom would just freak. There'd be times where we'd get in trouble because we'd break my bed. And so eventually, as I got older, I was like, this is something I really want to do. I want to train for. And, if I might as well do it right and not hurt myself.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I got into it, and I loved it when I first got into it, but there was just a lot of problems going on around, unfortunately, my life at that time, and it couldn't really allow me to do a lot of things. Now I'm a lot more free. I have a lot more time, so it's definitely been all right.
Makes it a lot easier to devote more time to the wrestling business.
Yes, and that is definitely my plan right now.
How long did you train before you had your first match?
I trained for about 6 months, but a lot of other training places was for about train, once a month, and then you're not refreshed. Of course, with it being at WCWO, not only are there shows every week, but they had training sessions every week as well. And then my first match was a battle royal, and then I started out against a few of the other mid cards. Kind of worked my way up.
Yeah, your childhood sounded quite a bit like mine. My dad is a huge wrestling fan. He was actually been doing some of the shows with me on commentary and stuff. He was at MPG with us, and but
That's awesome.
he's still a hardcore fan. He don't miss a show. He watches it basically Monday through Friday.
That's awesome.
If he has to go to work, he'll DVR it. But it's just so we always. When I was a kid, he took us to a lot of shows, and
that's really cool. My dad actually took me to a double down WCW show when WCW was still on, and then I think when I was more of a teenager, when Booker T actually won the World Heavyweight Championship from Rey Mysterio, Great American Bash, he took me to that too.
So back then, I don't remember going to much WCW. We went to if WWF or WWE was in town, they were in Indy. We had good seats and was going.
that would have been cool. I actually have been to quite a few WWE super shows, the ones they put on in Muncie and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to get a closer experience.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, when they're in a smaller venue like that, It's them are the ones that are a lot. I don't know. To me are better to go to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We went
I
to the
was
ones in Muncie, and then like I said, we go to Indy. Uh, we took my son. My son's 21 now, but we took him. I'm trying to remember what year it was, but to SummerSlam when it was in Indianapolis.
oh, that would have been cool.
Uh, got to see Edge and Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. It was pretty
That would
cool.
have been awesome. Edge is actually one of my top favorite.
That's my son's favorite. You can't see it with this camera angle, but we actually have a chair. It's my son's, but he lets me use it as a prop. But it's signed by it's a Royal Rumble chair, and it's signed by Edge and
Awesome.
Jim Ross.
That is so cool.
I bought it for my son off a guy at a wrestling show years ago, and then when we started doing this podcast stuff, I said, "Hey, you know what? You don't have that chair displaying or nothing. Let me use it." So he let me bring it over to my house, and I said, "I'll make use of it. I'll use it on the podcast."
Oh yeah, definitely.
So who were some of the guys that you were fans of that maybe helped mold you as a wrestler?
I guess as far as bigger guys go, definitely Edge and Mick Foley. That was honestly one of my favorite hardcore matches. And I also like the Hardy Boys a lot too, but I feel like that's a little cliche. Randy Orton, James Storm definitely. So it was a pretty good honor to actually meet him. Um, Sting until I met him in person, and I mean I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to bash anybody, but I didn't have a good experience with him, unfortunately. So it kind of gave me my own opinion about him.
Yeah.
And then even some of the more indie guys like the man that I just beat down, DOC. I've watched a few of his when I was younger. When I was a kid, actually, I met Pogo when I was a kid, and that's why he kind of became a trainer to me. I always watched him and Don Basher as well. Uh, so a lot of those guys.
Did you get to go to a lot of independent shows when you were younger?
Yeah, actually, I pretty much went to. I lived in Greensburg, Indiana at the time, and I pretty much went to every single WCWO show that was in Greensburg when I was a kid.
Okay.
That's actually what got me interested in it, and that's what made it.
So WCWO used to be in Greensburg.
They throw Greensburg shows. I think once a month or
Oh,
once every
okay.
couple months. So it's kind of a one of their outside shows that they do.
Yeah,
And then once I started learning that they were in Indianapolis, I started going to the Indianapolis shows before I actually started getting trained by them.
yeah, we used to go to a lot of independent shows,
Oh yeah, those are fun.
and then with just life stuff in life happened, we stopped going to as many, and then now we're back into going to a bunch of them again. But when my son was younger, we used to take him to independent shows all the time because you could see, like he got to see Brutus the Barber Beefcake, got to see some of the older guys.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That's probably one thing about my wrestling experience that's really neat is a lot of the guys that I did grow up watching, whether it was on TV or independently, I got to actually meet, talk to, hang out with, and it's even learn from, and it's been almost unreal.
Have you got to wrestle any of them?
Um, other than DOC, no. DOC is the only one that I was a fan of and got to work with.
Who's some of the guys that you've got to meet?
I've got to meet James Storm, Chase Stevens, Dylan McQueen. I didn't actually watch growing up as a kid, but I watched a little bit of his stuff on AEW. I also got to meet Madman Fulton, which was awesome. He's honestly one of the best guys that I've met as far as bigger talent goes. And then I have met one half of the Bushwhackers, Luke Bushwhacker, I believe.
That'd be cool.
And then I got to meet a little bit of Kevin Nash at Comic-Con, but not enough to talk to him like some of the other guys. Some of the other guys actually even got advice from him, which was awesome. And then same way with Mick Foley, it was kind of I got to meet him, but not actually get to talk to him, kind of thing.
Is Dylan McQueen? Is that the same? Is that the Dylan that was at the last show?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
because
he's been our last two shows.
on the match card they gave me, it was just a lot of it was just one like first names and stuff, so I wasn't for sure.
Yeah.
You said he's been on AEW.
Yeah, he's actually pretty much Cody Rhodes' golden boy, or was at one point Cody Rhodes' golden boy. So
Okay.
I mean that's pretty cool.
All right, yeah, because I remember that match. That was one of the first matches of the show.
Yeah, that was.
What's your goal? What's your like goal or end game in the wrestling business?
Originally, my goals actually kind of changed. And actually, I have DOC to thank for that. And that is one thing I can thank him for after our match. My goal was to learn, which it still is, learn from new people, whether that be rookies that know something that I don't, or whether that be experienced 20-year plus vets that can teach me a lot. And just to get far, eventually I want to get contracted by somebody. I think that would be great. I did start a little late in my life, but I feel like maybe I have a little bit of hope left. Honestly, one of my biggest goals, maybe a little bit of a dream, but is to get eventually contracted by Impact Wrestling, or AEW. That would be badass too. But I've always kind of had a thing for Impact Wrestling. So
yeah, I like Impact. I don't watch.
Yeah.
I don't get to watch as much as I should. My dad watches a lot, so I learn a lot about it from him. But
yeah, I absolutely love it. After that, though, after my match with DOC, to be honest, something just awakened in me, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous going into that match. I didn't let anybody know, but I've never actually been. I mean, I've been in matches that involve weapons, but I've never been in a street fight, never been in a hardcore match before that. That was my first time ever. And after that, now I have a whole new passion for it. And now one of my biggest goals is to become one of the biggest hardcore wrestlers in Indiana.
yeah, and that's something you don't. Well, at least at the promotions we've been to, you don't see a lot of the hardcore. I know you got some independent promotions that do the death matches and stuff, which
Yes.
I plan on visiting that AWR here real soon to go watch one of those because
Oh hell yeah!
I've never been to a death match live, and
Oh
I watched that. What was it? John Moxley against Gage,
yeah.
and they had pizza cutters and all kinds of stuff. But it was just what got me even more in it was the atmosphere. Like they basically had to almost fight their way to get to the ring through the crowd. And
Oh yeah, people go crazy over that.
it just I don't know the atmosphere. I'm like, man, I want to go to experience that one time.
Yes. I actually went to IWA Mid South on one of their Prince of the Death matches one time and watched it, and it was crazy. That's something that maybe I'm not ready for quite yet, but something that is what I want to be a goal eventually.
I want to go check it out. I'm a big UFC fan. I like the I'm a big fight. I'm a fighting guy. I like to watch. I like to watch fights. I like to watch even wrestling. And I was amateur. I wrestled in high school and stuff. So
Right.
I've always done kind of the combat stuff.
Oh yeah, I've always kind of grew up around it too, so it's fun to watch, fun to do. I mean, I've even done jiu-jitsu when I was younger as well. So
What do you think is the hardest thing about the independent wrestling scene?
honestly, getting there's a lot. I mean, that's kind of a hard question to answer. Maybe one of the biggest things is learning the difference between taking criticism from somebody that's trying to help you and just sometimes you'll run into people that just think you're a lost cause. I've even experienced that when I first started out. I was against somebody that I wasn't ready to be against, and pretty much botched a lot of it, unfortunately. And there was one person that was giving me some criticism, but I kind of took it hard. But I was like, all right, it's cool. And then there was that other person that just pretty much called me a complete piece of shit. I was like, oh, okay. And it kind of gives you that feeling like, do I really want to do this anymore? But
Yeah.
for me, that passion just, it doesn't fully die down. So I would say maybe taking the criticism from a lot of the older vets would probably be one of the hardest things that I've had experience with, not just from myself, but from other people that I've seen. And not that it's a bad thing. I love getting criticism. Sorry. I
Oh
love
no.
getting criticism from older wrestlers. I love the fact that younger wrestlers can get criticism from older wrestlers to try to help them build. But sometimes in the business, there are vets that will give criticism, but at the same time will not really be happy with or satisfied with what just happened. So they're going to go at you a little hard, and a lot of people are just going to take it hard.
Yeah. And there's a difference between constructive criticism and then just being an asshole
Yeah.
or just I don't know. All the people I've dealt with so far since we've got started doing the going and doing commentary and stuff, I haven't ran into nobody like that. Everybody's been great, but
Right.
you
And
hear
that's
hey,
awesome.
I know it's out there. You hear you always because I was kind of leery when we first started doing this because I'd always heard horror stories about independent wrestling and but I mean all the organizations that we've worked at, it's basically been like they're all almost like big families,
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely.
and everybody's
I
treated
haven't
us
seen
great.
it.
I mean,
Yes, it is. And I absolutely love it. And that's actually one of the biggest things I love about MPG is in one weird way or another, no matter what, I mean, we might fight against each other, obviously, whether that be for competition, for a grudge, to beat the hell out of each other and leave each other a bloody mess. In one weird way or another, no matter how much we love each other or hate each other, we have each other's backs at MPG. And that's probably the best thing that, in my opinion, not trying to put down other promotions, but MPG is the best promotion that I have worked for so far. And it has a lot to do with the backstage atmosphere.
you know, also said like we went to WCWO and I've been
Yes, they have they
I
have a
went
pretty
there
good.
I went there I think 4 times now. One time was we actually went there and commentated the show and streamed it live, and then other times we just me and my dad and my girlfriend's son and us we went down there just to watch as fans. But like as soon as we walk in, all them guys will come up, they'll shake our hand or give us a hug, and the same thing like at BMFX. Well, either at MPG like Jared Kripke.
Oh yeah.
I interviewed him like right before that show, that Friday. Then the show was on Sunday. That was the first time I'd ever talked to him. Well, then like when he came in to MPG, he came right over to us, talked to us, shook our hand and stuff, and then I saw him at BMFX this week. And as soon as they got there, came up, gave me a big hug, and like all the WCWO guys that was at that event came up and talked to us. So I mean, we made a lot of friends in just a short amount of
Jared's
time.
a hell of a guy. Um, I've actually even had my own run-in with him for the IWF Midwest Heavyweight Champion. He got the best of me both times, but I think after that we kind of found a new respect for each other. I mean, I learned how strong and how experienced he was, and actually our second match, I broke my ribs at Comic Con during our match, and so he kind of learned how much pain I can take. So it kind of made us found a newfound respect for each other.
Yeah, I like watching him in the ring. He's good in the ring,
Yeah, he is.
and just his whole character, his personality. It just he's
he's different, but he's one hell of a guy. He's somebody that I have probably the utmost highest respect for, at least from my standpoint. I just the things he's done, not only as a wrestler, but even as a person to help others out is incredible.
Yeah. Like I said, I just met him a few weeks ago, but he seems like a real good guy. And
Yeah,
I've
yeah, he is.
enjoyed talking to him, and I think me and him might do some work together here in the near future.
That would be awesome. That would definitely be awesome. I do know that he has plans for his future to start a wrestling school. And after our match, or our last match, I told him, I said, I want to be one of your first students.
Yeah, I think I think he'd be a good trainer.
Definitely, definitely.
Who's been some of your favorite guys that you've got to wrestle with? Some of
Uh,
your favorite matches.
Jared, definitely. That was a huge opportunity. I actually had a tag team championship match at Comic Con against Cardinal Manifest as well. I don't know if you've heard too much about them.
What
Aaron
what
Kastner and Mako Hanks.
what was the name?
Cardinal Manifest.
No, I haven't heard of them. My dad probably has. I'll have to ask him.
They're about the same age as me, maybe a little younger. They're a very talented tag team. They were really good to work with, and Nick Diamond, I got to work with him. He's good. Michael Pierce is another one that I didn't mind working with, and I'd love to work with again. Um, Luke Savage, Sanji, and Dalton Love. I actually had a match with all three of them not long ago. Um, I didn't get too much time with uh, Dalton Love, but I wish I would have got a little more time with him. And I hope eventually in the future I will. I definitely got some time with Savage. He got some time with me. Same with Sanji. Both hella crazy. But and then another person that I worked with in, other than obviously Pogo, that I got to work with and WCWO that has kind of made a real big career for himself is Sean Kemp. That he actually he was my first, I guess you could say, rivalry in WCWO.
Okay.
So I've kind of been watching the things that he's been doing, and he's been definitely making a huge name for himself.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned Dalton Love and Luke Savage. They're actually from Muncie, the same where I live. I actually coached Luke Savage in amateur wrestling when he was
Oh,
young.
really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and then I knew Dalton from amateur wrestling too, because Dalton and my son wrestled on the same middle school team for a little
Wow,
while.
that's really cool.
But we were looking forward to seeing him, so we hadn't seen him wrestle live yet. So and then we had seen they were going to be at that show last time, so we was like, okay, we'll finally get to see him. Well, then things happened and they wasn't at the show, so we're hoping to
I'm
see them in
hoping
the
they're
near
going to be at
future.
this one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really heard too much from them here lately, but I'm really hoping to see them at the next show. Um,
And then Savior, I know he wrestles down there some. I've been wanting to see him too. I haven't got to see him wrestle live yet.
he's he's definitely a monster of a man.
Yeah, he's been on all three of them have came on the show, and well, Dalton and Luke have been on a couple times.
Okay, awesome.
Dalton came on
I
one
think
time and watched a pay per view, WWE pay per view with us. We did a live watch along thing, and he came and watched it with us.
that's pretty cool. I think I actually might have seen an advertisement for Luke on the guys' show not long ago.
Well, speaking of younger guys, is there any younger guys that you've wrestled that have impressed you that you think are going to make a name for themselves?
Um, there is one that I kind of have my eyes on. Or well, actually, there's more than one. Honestly, I guess a lot of the other wrestlers are about my age or older than me. One that kind of caught my attention was Tyler Stevens. Um, I wouldn't mind wrestling him. Both members of Los Los Amigos
Yep.
and maybe even Outlast. My partner or not partner, whatever, he decides to make up his mind. That's his choice, whatever. But Alex Van Zant, is another one I wouldn't mind working with. And then also Nick Diamond and Michael Pierce and Sanji. Again, those three are like the ones that I kind of want to work with a lot, just because their styles. We all have all four of us just have very different styles, so I think it would be very interesting for the four of us to be in a ring together. And then I would love to work with Jared again eventually. I also seen a lot of Jaden Quick stuff too, and I wouldn't mind working with him and the Amazing Group. I wouldn't mind working with him either, especially in a hardcore match.
Oh yeah. Do you get to Do you get to watch much of like other independent shows?
I am now. I've started a lot of, I guess, my own personal scouting now. I watch a lot of Crash Tested, BMFX. Still watch WCWO. I watch Narcissistically. I watch our show. But I think that's my own thing. I've been watching. I think I mentioned Crash Tested, Chicago Style Wrestling, and TSW. And then there's been a couple others that I can't really remember the name of the promotion, but there's been a few others to where I've watched other people's matches from other promotions too, such as Jared's, Nick's, and one of my biggest wrestling, or a guy that I'm a huge fan of that due to unfortunate circumstances, I wasn't able to meet him. I wish I would have. Is Austin Theory. I'm definitely a huge fan of a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of talent.
Oh yeah, he did. He was awesome.
When you got into the wrestling business, was your did you have the support of your family, or did they think you was crazy?
My dad loved it. My dad absolutely loved the idea. Knew that I was always kind of the wild kid in the family, that I always loved doing that, and he's came to a few shows and watched me. My mom, on the other hand, yells at me every time I come home and show her my match, especially the last couple.
Yeah, she's probably a big fan of the last one where there was the blood.
She about had a heart attack. But she actually, not the last show, but the show before last, she actually came and watched it live. So I mean, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to mess with her. Yeah.
I know at that Comic Con you mentioned it a couple times. You guys wrestled like, didn't you guys do like 7 or 8 shows or something over that weekend?
We did 8 shows in 3 days. I did about 5 matches, but a lot of other people did all 8 shows, and everybody just went hard. And I feel like, me personally, that was one of our biggest comebacks, as far as going from a lot of people who are green, because even during the duration of Comic-Con, you can see, a lot of people in the beginning of Comic-Con that were green, that didn't have a lot of experience, and you could tell towards the end of Comic-Con, they were just absolutely kicking ass, to the point where there was people on the outside of our room watching because there wasn't enough room on the inside. So I mean, we definitely drew. Everybody just did amazing. I think everybody pretty much felt it after that. So the month and a half that we had after that was amazing, because we needed it. Everybody, I think everybody at least got hurt at least once at one point or another. But I mean, none of us regretted it. It was just a lot to handle, but it was, in my experience, it was one of the best times of my life. So
I've seen a few of the matches from that show, from some of them shows. And then Luke and Dalton was talking about like by the last day you were so sore that, but
they actually they had a match that pretty much was one of the biggest ones that stole the show.
Yeah, I've watched that one online. That was a good match.
Yes, it was. I definitely give them props for that one.
Oh,
One of
Savage.
my favorite matches.
Savage is a little crazy.
Yeah, he is.
Was you in that match where he jumped off the stage?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you was in that match. That was at that went at the last show, but it was at the show before, wasn't it?
Before last, yeah. My face met his belly, so that was real nice. And of course, I got to be the lucky one. He got to pick out of the crowd. So after that, so it was fun to work with him, but he was a little crazy. I didn't expect the snaps from him as he did. So he took me a little by surprise.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them guys live. And like I said, we were impressed with you. We was impressed with a lot of guys there at MPG when we went. And we're looking forward to coming back. Like I said, like I was telling you before we got on live, I was working on our schedule, trying to compare all the dates, and
yeah,
it looks like we're going to be able to make most of them. I know we won't be at the February show.
That's all right.
Well, is the February show going to stay at the same date since you guys moved the January show back?
Yes, actually, as far as I'm aware of.
Okay.
I don't have a final answer to that. That would actually be but as far as I'm aware of, it's still the same show.
Okay.
We're just gonna have it to each other.
Yeah, February. February, we've already booked somewhere else.
That's understandable.
So we're gonna miss it, but I'm pretty sure we'll be there in March and
awesome.
All that. January 29th works for us too, so I was like, cool. Because I saw what it said was changing dates. It's like, please don't be on the 15th.
I'm actually really happy you're going to be there in March because in March, I'm not going to mention anything, but I have something pretty big planned. So.
All right, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
So
that's definitely something to look forward to if you're a fan of MPG.
Because we'll be at MPG a lot next year. We're going to definitely be at DCCW here in Muncie. We basically do all their shows. That's
another show that I've kind of started to get into now.
They have some good talent there, and it's ran by good people. They do a lot for the community around here, and
that's awesome.
And they're the ones that gave us our first opportunity at doing a live stream and doing live commentary.
Really, that's pretty cool. That's really cool of them.
Which I was back in August? Yeah, that was back in August. That's when we started. Now I've done it at like 5 or 6 different promotions, and
I bet that's a lot of fun to do, though.
Oh yeah, it's a blast. I'm not gonna lie, that first show I was nervous because I'd never done commentary before. I've watched wrestling, but I think why it works so well is because we're just all wrestling fans, so we're just watching it as fans and saying whatever pops in our head.
I think that's the best part about being, about if. Good Lord, my mind is just drawn a blank today. I apologize.
Oh, hey, I do that sometimes too. So it's fine. I was on here.
I think that'd be really cool to be a commentator or to commentate a match, especially in wrestling business.
Oh yeah, not that it'll ever. I don't know if it'll ever happen. But I'd love to be able to commentate like at a big event, just one time.
I mean, it could happen.
Which I got some stuff going on this year that, I guess I can't say all the details yet, but I'm working on some big things for this year that I think is going to help us expand even more.
Hell yes, awesome. Well, I definitely hope to see you guys go.
But yeah, hey, when we're at MPG, you're more than welcome if you want to come over and jump on and do a commentary with us for a match or something. You're more than welcome to.
All right, hell yeah. If I'm not too broken up by then, hell yeah.
Yeah, we like trying, like Kripke came on with us at the BMFX show.
Yeah.
Yeah, well at the WTF show couple weeks before that, he came over and done a match commentary with us.
Oh, that's awesome. I bet that was fun.
Oh yeah.
He had a lot to say.
Yeah, he's came over a couple times and done it, and actually at the last show he done it, and then him and Nate Matthews were doing like a standoff, and Kripke was standing behind our announce table, and Matthews was in the ring, so it looked pretty cool on our video. And then Kripke comes around the table and goes up in the ring.
That would have been fun.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. Like we came to MPG, met Kripke, and then since then, he's helped us. He's helped us a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Krupke is the guy that a lot of people can look up to, and a lot of people can say, "Man, no matter how much you love him or hate him, he's a different guy." And I
Yeah.
mean that in the best of ways. He's
A
not
lot of
like
them
somebody.
guys, a lot of them guys and women that's been trained by that Billy Rock, they all seem to have kind of that same. Oh no, they're all good people. They want to help. They're not just all
Yeah,
about themselves.
yeah, I have learned that. I that's definitely something that even with me or being booked or in promotions now is something that I would love to experience to go through the training of that. I've heard a lot of good things from them.
And I
So,
know
I mean, just
WCWO has a good training school going on right now with Joey Owens and Jake Oman.
yeah, actually, Jake Oman, we're actually. I'm pretty sure I can announce this. I'm pretty sure it's been publicly announced. Is actually planning to do a seminar for MPG as
Yep.
well.
Yeah, I've
And
been sharing that. I think that's in February, isn't it?
yeah, and that is something I definitely plan on attending.
Oh yeah,
So,
I would highly recommend attending that. He when we done our live stream at WCWO, when we got there on Sunday, they were actually doing training. So they
oh
were,
really?
and so while we were setting up, me and Dad and the other two guys that was with me, we got to kind of watch, and dude
Okay.
was impressed. We was really impressed with the train, just the way he ran it and stuff. We was really
Oh
impressed
yeah,
with Omen,
yeah.
which I've seen him. We've watched him wrestle since probably about 17, 18 years ago, and then
Right.
getting to see him wrestle now, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, Jake Oman is another one I kind of looked up, or kind of independent wrestling I looked up to.
How he's never
Um,
got a contract, got contracted for one of these bigger companies
I,
is is a oh no, it's amazing to me because
yeah, it is. That's one that I can't believe hasn't been contracted through at least Ring of Honor or Impact. I think he would have done great on either or.
yeah, I know he's been wrestling on Ohio Valley here quite a bit here lately.
That's awesome.
Which that's another show I've been starting to watch here lately. They've been having a lot of good talent on there.
Oh yeah, hell, a lot of big stars came from there, and
Yeah.
or a lot of big stars in the making. That's another goal of mine is to eventually make it that far.
So this next year in 2022, are you going to try to start kind of branching out to other promotions to try to get your name out
Definitely,
there more?
definitely. There was a situation with my vehicle that happened over the weekend, so unfortunately my plans are going to get a little pushed back.
Yeah.
But I definitely 2022, 2023 is going to be my rising year. That I plan on making a name for myself. I plan on going to every state, having at least one promotion from every state know who I am.
Have you wrestled in any other states besides Indiana yet?
Other than Michigan,
Michigan.
I did wrestle in Michigan for Apex, yeah, but other than that, no, I not yet. But that's something that's going to change this upcoming year within the next 2 years for
That,
sure.
that's something I want. That a goal of mine now. I would like to do is to get with one of these promotions outside of Indiana and go do commentary and live stream it. Maybe like Ohio or I'll go to Michigan, Chicago, wherever. But just I think it'd be cool to be able to do some out of the state of Indiana as well.
Chicago is definitely a big place that I want to start getting into. I heard there's definitely a lot of good opportunities there. And as well as even Florida, I have a cousin that lives in Florida, and he has a few friends that are really big into the independent wrestling.
I'd like to go
business. So,
I'd like to go down to Tennessee.
yes, that is another place I've heard a lot about too.
I think it'd be cool to be able to go down there and do some commentary and stuff because, man,
a lot of good talent comes from Tennessee.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of good talent even at MPG come from usually from the Chicago area or the Tennessee area.
Well, the guys you had at the last show, Storm and Stevens, they're from They're down in the Tennessee area right now.
Yeah.
Which I was impressed with both them. I our table there for a minute, but
Yeah, I've seen that. Actually, that's funny that you mentioned that because I literally just rewatched that match before getting on here. So, what was it? Your guys' camera they knocked down?
that knocked one of our lights down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I seen that. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, he didn't. He knocked it down trying to get up, but when he threw him, I thought I grabbed a hold of our laptop, and I was like, at least if he does hit it, at least if he does hit the table, we should be good. I'll have a hold of this.
Yeah.
And I was just hoping that the cameraman was going to hold on to the camera, but he stopped right in front of the table. He couldn't have got any closer. But it was cool because we got a great angle on, a great shot of it.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, it's always good to get a great angle on, and I think that's the reason why I like independent wrestling more now than I used to, is just because we have so much more fan interaction. You can go to, and this is going to sound bad to say, but you can go to a WWE live event and pay 60, 70, 80 bucks from nosebleed seats to see somebody that can't work to save their lives. Or you can go to an independent wrestling, meet newer wrestlers, and even some wrestlers that you grew up watching, such as Chase Stevens and James Storm, for 15 bucks, right there in your face. And it's just an independent scene. To me, there's a whole difference, a night and day difference between a contracted promotion and an independent promotion. And an independent promotion, yes, contracted promotions, there's more opportunity, more money, and business wise, it would be better for anybody, of course. But as far as fan wise goes, fan interaction, and just all around community and atmosphere, I'll choose independent wrestling today.
Yeah, for the price, you can't beat it. I mean,
Right.
we done a show for DCCW that had WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Had a WWE legend head shrinker Samu. So with him and Rikishi, you had the original head shrinkers.
That is so cool.
And then also, and the card, that same card also had the Boogeyman on it.
Really? That I've actually heard, and I was so upset because they I actually almost had the chance to meet him, and I had to cancel on a show that he was at, and I was so upset about it because that was another one that I really love to work with eventually. I know he does a lot of independent stuff around Indiana. Him, Gangrel, and Kevin Thorne are three that.
Yeah, Gangrel was supposed to be at that show.
Oh, really?
And that's when he got hurt.
Oh.
So actually, Samu, they brought Samu in to kind of take Gangrel's place.
Wow.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Gangrel, Boogeyman, and Rikishi. Oh, Jake, and Jake Christ was on that show as well.
That would have been, wow. That would have been a great ass show to watch.
And I think for front row, they had a VIP thing for front row. I think it was like 35, 40, but you actually got this, a signed picture, and they all autographed it.
Oh, that's awesome.
You got that with with the front row, including your front row VIP, and that was it was like $35, but then they had general admission for $15. So I mean, and it's a small building. The atmosphere is just so much different.
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate that there are smaller buildings. Some of the buildings, even on the outside, don't look the best. But that's why I love the independent scene. It's a whole new experience with wrestlers, and it just gives fans a lot more to. Yeah, in my opinion, gives fans a lot more to experience.
Yeah, my advice for people that aren't wrestling fans or think
Yeah.
they want to say it's fake or all that, go to an independent show. Go watch an independent show live, and then tell me that it's fake, or tell me that you wasn't entertained. Because if you wasn't entertained, you're at a
Not the right one.
you're not at the right independent show.
No, because no.
Like we go to Indianapolis a lot, pay $12 on a Friday night for a 2.5, 3 hour show. You can't do anything. You can't go anywhere else and get entertained for $12.
No, not no.
I mean, that's why you're going. That's about why you're going. Yeah, you go to a movie. By the time you buy a drink and popcorn, you're going to spend $50.
Pretty much, yeah. That's for each nowadays.
Yeah, you can go to a independent wrestling show, spend $12 to get in, and hell, most of them you get like $1.50, $2 hot dog and a pop. And yeah. Oh, and Storm was at that show as well. Yeah, the show they had in October, it was a real good show. We have the whole show on our YouTube page.
Okay, I'll definitely have to check that out then.
Yeah, we have two DCCW shows on our YouTube page.
Okay.
And then we have a WCWO show on there. Who else? AACW out of Kokomo.
Okay, yeah. I've heard of ACW.
I'll tell you what, that was a fun show. That building was standing room only, and the fans there were crazy.
I've heard a lot of good things from there. I haven't had the chance to watch them yet, or even watch their videos yet.
Yeah, we got that on our YouTube page. And then who else? Oh, Wrestling Theology Fellowship, and then MPG, and then now BMFX. So I mean, yeah, we got 5 or 6 full shows on there.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's.
And then I broke them down. Then I released them all in single matches. So, like at BMFX, we couldn't record live. We got there and we was going to go live. Well, we couldn't get good enough internet service. So we ended up just recording it, and then I aired it live the next day. But that still works well too. So
I was actually really happy about our building that there was no problems with that show, because our building likes to do that too, likes to throw out the internet service and just screw us all. Actually, at the show before last, at the show of Pride, I think the last 2 matches were without music because everything was down. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, your internet in that building worked perfect that day.
That's good. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I tried to hook up to the hotspot off my phone, and at BMFX, and it would go live, but it just kept lagging. And I was like, I'd rather just record it and put out a good product tomorrow than to try to do it live and people not even be able to watch it.
That definitely sounds like it would have been better at that time. Gotta work with what you gotta work with, right?
You have what would be your dream match?
My dream match to watch or to perform in?
To perform in. Like if you could pick a couple people to have a match in, who would be your dream match?
I guess if it was going to be a bigger match and if he was in better condition, just because I know he's not in the best condition of his life, a hardcore match with Edge, for sure. I guess more realistically, I want a hardcore match. Well, maybe not more realistically, but more likely, I would definitely love to have a hardcore match with Tommy Dreamer. I mean, I know that's still a far ways away, but that was one of the hardcore guys I loved watching growing up.
Oh yeah, was you a big ECW fan?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I love that kind of style of wrestling, and now that I got to experience it, gives me so much more of a love for it.
I watched their first pay-per-view the other day on WWE Network, Barely Legal. That's always been one of my favorite shows.
Oh yeah.
When they throw that dude off that ledge through like 4 tables or something.
That was insane.
Yeah, I still remember that from like watching it live, and it's always been one of my favorite old pay-per-views to go back and watch. That and when Mick Foley gets thrown off the Hell in the Cell.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I have a buddy that got to listen to a lot of Mick Foley stuff and him talk about that. And so it was kind of cool listening. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago, but we just stayed up one night talking about that. I was talking to him about my wrestling stuff, and he was talking to me about how he met Mick Foley, and he actually used to be a wrestler too, as well. But I don't really know how long he did it for. But he was talking about there was just a lot of stuff that Mick Foley talked about that you wouldn't expect that was behind the scenes. And I guess he said it was really funny hearing him talk about him losing his ear. It was probably his funniest thing that he's done. And I was like, oh, I bet that would have been really funny.
I've got to hear him talk about that on Broken Skull sessions with Stone Cold.
Oh, really?
I listen to a lot. I like that show. That's a good show, a good podcast to listen to.
Yes, it is.
But
I watched the one with Edge and Jeff Hardy here recently. So
yeah, I watched the Jeff Hardy one recently, and then the second one with the Undertaker. Second part of that one, I watched it.
Oh yeah, I did watch that one. Yeah.
But just got a comment. It's actually my dad, but he said that the Tommy Dreamer might not be too far fetched because he says that Dreamer is taking bookings.
That's what I heard. And that would be a dream match. I would beg Tyler to have. Plus, I think it'd be cool to have Eric Valkry kick Tommy Dreamer's ass. So.
I think Dreamer would be a good draw.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because he's one of the guys. Even if you're not a hardcore wrestling fan, a lot of people has heard of Dreamer.
It's pretty hard not to. I did see him live once. I went to the Gathering 17, and I seen him at JCW, and it was even in the ring and outside of the ring, he was just a wild character.
Oh, I bet.
And hell, that show had Jeff Hardy when he was still independent, before he went back to WWE. Had all JCW big stars.
Where was that at?
JCW is at the Gathering.
Okay.
Gathering of the Juggalo 17. I'm not huge into ICP and all that, but I was dating a girl at the time that was, and of course, JCW. I was gonna go watch it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we haven't been there. But Dreamer, I haven't seen him live, but Luke Savage as a character kind of reminds me of like a young Dreamer.
Yeah, a little bit. I can see that.
Because he comes out there in the t-shirt and almost like the sweats and just. But yeah, I'd love to see Dreamer live.
Oh yeah, it was definitely really fun. I would love to see it closer though, because I wasn't front row in JCW because it was their big Bloody Mania event, but it was still cool. Plus, one of the guys from the band Attila actually had a match for Bloody Mania.
Oh, okay.
So it was really cool because right beside me was the rest of Attila watching. So I actually got to hang out with Attila during.
Okay. Hell yeah, that would be cool. We went to an independent show. I don't know, probably about 13, 14 years ago, somewhere around there. But it was in Indianapolis. I think it was Insanity Pro Wrestling, if I remember right. But John Moxley was on the card, and this was before he was ever in WWE.
That would have been cool to see.
Bryan Danielson was on that card, and this was the Saturday before he was going to make his debut on Monday Night Raw when he was coming back for the second time where he got fired the first time.
Yeah.
But the Saturday before he made his return to WWE, we watched him in Indianapolis. We paid like $10 or $12. I think Billy Rock was on that card as well. Drake Younger. I mean, it it was an awesome card for like 10, $12, and we were sitting maybe second row.
That sounds awesome. I know I can't remember if they still have it or not, but I know they do Legends of the Squared Circle, I think is what it's called, in Indianapolis, and they have a lot of, or maybe it's Heroes versus Legends, or maybe it might be both. I might be thinking of both.
I know there's a Heroes and Legends in Fort Wayne.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking of too. Where they put a lot of the bigger people that's against small, and that's really cool to me.
Yeah, we went to a couple of the Hero and Legends shows. Got to see Jerry Lawler. Cool. Ric Flair was at one, but I kind of mad at myself now because I didn't pay the money to go get a picture with them. It was like $150 or something. And you got a picture with them, an autograph and everything, and I was like, man, I'd get in line and then I'd talk myself out of it. I'd get back in line, I'd talk myself out of it. Well, then I ended up going outside to the ATM, getting money. Came back in, instead of doing the Ric Flair thing, I went and spent like $100 on buying that chair I was telling you about. Yeah. For my son for his birthday. Now I'm like, man, I wish I'd just spent that money on myself and met Ric Flair.
I actually heard Indianapolis is one of his favorite places to wrestle. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess I heard him. I didn't hear him personally, but my dad was talking about how he's heard in different kind of interviews and whatnot, and where he's talked about Indiana being a really good place. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, Ric Flair's a crazy dude.
Yes, I heard.
He left that show, went to a bar in Fort Wayne, and got into it with a waitress and got kicked out.
That's not surprising, but I definitely heard he was a wild one to be around.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler was on that card. I'm trying to think. I want to say Ryback was on that card. Yeah, that was a good card. Plus, then you had a lot of the older wrestlers that was there during the day at the Fan Fest thing that you got to get. You could go get autographs and stuff with.
That would have been real cool to see.
Coolest guy I've got to sit down and talk with was probably Jake the Snake Roberts.
Jake the Snake. My dad got to meet him. Unfortunately, I didn't, but my dad got to meet Jake the Snake a long time ago.
We helped do some shows here in Muncie for a community center that we was trying to help raise money for, and Jake Roberts was at one of the shows, and I got to sit out. I sat outside and was smoking a cigarette. We sat there and talked. Oh no, probably at least an hour.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he's crazy, but he treated me good.
That's good. Yeah, I heard he was another good guy. The only person I've ever had a bad experience with, or only two people I've personally had a bad experience with, was of course Sting and Bobby Lashley, which was really weird because that was when Bobby Lashley was first got big and first a huge baby face, and he just it wasn't actually my experience. I just happened to be in the hallway as he was walking by, and it was another customer's experience that I got to talk to, and it was an old woman in a wheelchair that pretty much got told to fuck off by sorry, I don't know if I was
oh no, yeah, you're fine.
All right. So, but yeah, got told that by him, and this is an old woman in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I dropped that. Yeah, I dropped the F-bomb right at the beginning of the show just to throw it that way, just get it over with.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Because I know I'm going to say it, but yeah,
I have a habit of doing that sometimes.
The only one I've really had a bad experience with, and it really wasn't me. It was just the way I saw him treat other people at an autograph signing was Scott Steiner.
Really? Yeah, I've heard some bad stuff about him too.
And he, which was disappointing because I was always a big Steiner Brothers fan.
Right.
But
that's how I felt about Sting. I had an ex that used to go to a Horror Hound, which is basically like the horror version of Comic Con,
Yeah.
and he was there signing pictures and stuff, and I was like, hell yes! I was like, I've always wanted to meet Sting, and maybe it wasn't him, maybe it was his manager, but like they were both pretty much shoving people, like getting people in and then shoving them out of the way, and he was, in my opinion, way overpriced for a 2 second meet and greet, and then him just acting like that.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, I got out of line. I was like, I don't even want to meet him anymore.
Oh yeah, that's
Like,
uh, like with some of the stuff I saw. I'm like, man, I never thought you'd be like that. But hey, I
Yeah.
mean, everybody, and it could just be he was having a bad day. I mean, it might not
Right.
be like that all the time.
Right. I've actually there was an experience with a celebrity, Matthew Lillard, that at first when I first met him, I was like, dude, this guy's a dick. And then it wasn't really just him. He even apologized to everybody else too about how he acted, and he was like, I'm sorry, I just something bad just happened, and I was getting surrounded, and he actually ended up being one of the coolest people that I've ever met. So
Yeah, because I'm
so I
sure
mean, I can understand.
I'm sure them guys. You're always out in the public. I'm sure you have your personal life shit going on. It could be easy
Yeah.
just to have a bad day where you're just not into it. It's like
Yeah, so
you're
I can
there, but
understand.
you're there, but mentally you're not. You're
Right. Just like, I don't want to do this.
I think that's where a lot of fans forget is like these guys are normal people just like us,
And they do.
and
Um,
they have the same shit and problems we have. They have
they,
too. We just don't see it because all we see is them as these big heroes or superstars, and
we don't see them as, oh, they have lives. We have no idea what's going on with them.
yeah.
So yeah, I get that.
But when you're
That's why.
but when you're paying good money, to get an autograph, you expect you expect a little more out of it, though. You expect at least to be friendly.
But I think we have high expectations on that.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it never. I mean, sometimes Scott Wilson, before he passed away, the guy that played Herschel from The Walking Dead, actually gave me and a couple of friends a free picture and a free meet and greet because the girl I was with at the time wanted to meet him and didn't have the money to, and he just was like, "Get over here." So I was like, "Wow, I've never seen anybody do that." But and then you have other guys that just are like, "Okay, pay me and get the hell out."
Uh, I know we talked about it a little bit, but that Comic Con, how did you guys was there a pretty big fan base there? Was there a lot of people that like came in and watched the wrestling?
Yes, actually, it was packed full.
Were you guys
Even
like
within
were you guys like in the same room as like everybody else, or did they have you guys?
we were kind of in an off room,
Okay.
like a showroom where they would have like a Q&A or something like that.
So people could
But
just
yeah,
like
they gave
walk
us
in.
yeah, but they gave us our own room, and we were kind of worried at first because the first half of our first show, we didn't really have a very good draw, and barely anybody showed up, and we're like, well, we're still going to go out there and do our best, but well, whatever, maybe we can get some more people in. And by the end of that show, and even towards the middle of Comic Con, it was packed full to the point where there were people watching from the outside. And I was like, what? There was a lot of things from Comic Con even closed down at about 7:30 or 7:30, 8 o'clock. And our last show was at 10 to midnight. And there were people coming back, like that would leave and were coming back just for our show. I was like, wow, yes, that is great.
Yeah, that's
So, I
cool.
mean,
Are you guys doing Comic Con again?
as far as I'm aware of, yes. I think we're doing it again in April. I can't really quote on that, but I think I have a pretty good idea that that's what's going to happen.
If it went that good last year, I figure
Oh yeah, they loved us. The people that brought us in absolutely loved the idea of it. And not only that, but I love the idea that if you watch a lot of matches from Comic Con, there's all kinds of different things, like all kinds of references to movies and comic books.
I'm
all
gonna have to
kinds
talk.
of references.
I'm gonna have to talk to Tyler and see who I'd have to talk to. See if maybe I could set up down there.
That would be great. And there would definitely be some room for you.
I'm
We
sure.
have quite a few tables.
Oh, and I said talk to Tyler. I'm sure he wouldn't care, but I'm sure we'd have to get it okayed with probably the Comic-Con people.
Yeah.
But
The
yeah,
only problem,
to come down there and just even if I was just commentating your guys' show.
we would love that. I know. I mean, I can't speak for Tyler, but I guarantee you, he would say the same things that I would. That we would obviously, or
Oh yeah,
everyone would
I
love
think he would. He invited us
it.
back.
Yeah. We were all kind of talking backstage about you guys actually. So we'd definitely love to have you back. Only thing that sucked about Comic Con was that we couldn't use our own music. Due to Comic Con's rules, we're not allowed to use copyrighted music unless we have some kind of ownership to it. So I mean, like if it was somebody's custom music, yeah, they could use it.
Yeah.
But actually, a couple of us are actually going to use our songs from Comic Con because we found songs that we even like better than our own. So
It made you look a little deeper into finding the song.
Yeah, that wasn't copyright.
I have that same problem on here.
Oh, really?
Especially with Facebook. Man, with Facebook, if there's just it could be one word of a song, and they'll get you on it.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a Facebook page that we had a video on there, had over 30,000 views, and I woke up one day and it was just gone.
Oh, I'd be so shitty about that.
I've never got an explanation why. It was just gone. But yeah, we done a UFC watch along, one of our first ones, and it had over 30. We ended up having over 30,000 views on it, and then we had we was up to like probably 500 followers, and just lost it all. Now we're back up. I mean, we've built it back up, but it's like if that wasn't to happen, just how far would we have been?
Yeah, you guys would have been far. You guys commentate on a lot more than just wrestling shows too, though, right? You guys do like football shows and fighting, and that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah, we have a weekly sports betting show that runs Monday through Friday at 11. Then we have a sports talk show that we do live 3 days a week.
Okay.
And then we do the wrestling show, and then we do a lot of UFC watch-alongs. Do a lot of Indianapolis Colt watch-alongs and stuff like that. Not a Colts fan, I take it.
Actually, a little mini story. I don't know why, and I think it was because it was my dad's favorite team, and I just wanted to be that rebel teenager that was like, "Your team's gonna lose, haha." But I kind of hold a grudge against the Colts now because when they face off with the Bears, I bet my dad $20. If I won, I got $20, and if I lost, I had to wear a dress all day and take pictures, and I lost. So, and of course, I kept my end of the deal.
That's like my son.
Now.
That's like my son. Me and my dad are big Colts fans. My son, he's an Arizona Cardinals fan.
Oh wow!
But he's been an Arizona Cardinals fan since he was little. But I think he just wanted to choose a different team than us. But then he became a big Larry Fitzgerald fan, so the Cardinals became his favorite team.
Okay.
But yeah, we do. When we first started, we started just doing sports. We was doing the Easy Money and the Gonzo Sports Room, and then I went to an independent show with my dad. DCCW was doing a fundraiser for a high school wrestling team, and we went up there. We went to that. Well, then I ended up talking to Mike King and Terry Coons, guys that run DCCW.
Yeah,
and then
I've met Mike King a time too.
What'd you say?
I said I've met Mike King a time or two.
Okay, yeah. He's a good dude. He's helped us a bunch. But I asked him, I said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do." And we went next show. We was there, and done it, and then they've had us back the next month. And we've just been
doing it since then.
And then Mike King's helped me get connections. Well, he's the one that got me with you guys. He talked to.
I think Tyler told me about that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he messaged Tyler for me, and then because I called him and asked him, or messaged him, I was like, "Do you know who I need to talk to at MPG?" And What was the other one? Oh, BMFX.
UNFX.
And Mike King goes, well, hold on a sec. He goes, hold on a minute, let me reach out. Well, then like 5 minutes later, he messaged me and said, and gave me Tyler's information. Said, yeah, he said he'd love to have you. And then I don't know, about 5 minutes later, he messaged me with the guy from BMFX's information. Said, yeah, he wants to have you too. I was like, sweet.
Yeah, I've known Tyler since well, I don't know, for about I want to say something about 10 years now. So I've been always really close to him.
Yeah,
And that's that. I mean, he brought me into MPG and gave me more opportunities than I could be ever put into words of how grateful I am. I mean, he brought me in whenever I was kind of going through a rough time in my life and kind of going through that phase to where I didn't really know if I wanted to continue wrestling. I got some hard criticism and didn't really know. And he was like, no, I'll bring you in, and gave me an opportunity with Jared Crick. He, gave me an opportunity with the tag team titles or tag team championship match. Has even gave me an opportunity for the MPG title, and came in as the intergender champions, and even facing DOC.
yeah.
That was to me, that was a big deal.
Oh yeah, that was a good match. We enjoyed that match.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed the win. it hurt a little. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, it was funny because my my girlfriend's son, he was recording for us today. He was operating the camera.
Yeah.
And during your match, you was down. Well, from our angle, you was on the other side of the ring, and we couldn't see you. We couldn't see you over the. We couldn't see you laying down, like on the side of the ring on that side.
Oh yeah.
And then when
yeah,
you came up and your face was all bloody, and my dad said, "Look," I looked up and her son running the camera, and he had his hands up like this. He just like he couldn't believe what he saw. It was we just started cracking up.
there was a point in that match that I couldn't see anything but my blood. I was like,
oh, I bet, because it starts running into your eyes and
yeah. Oh yeah, it was. I was worried a couple times in that match that I was gonna lose, but not like my group did anything though. The whole point was for my group to help me out a little, but you know what? It's all right. I took care of myself, and I was okay with that.
And I think your group, yeah, they done a lot more standing around watching than they did anything.
Yeah. Yeah, but Alex Van Zant's going his own way. We lost 2 of our members, and the other 2, I'll just have to whip it and shape myself. So.
Oh, I was impressed with Van Zant too. Him and Chase Stevens put on a good show.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Oh, was that your first hardcore match?
Yeah, it was my first hardcore match ever. So that's why I said, before going into it, I didn't let anybody know. Of course, I was like, yeah, I'm excited, and deep down I was like,
yeah.
But after that, now I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah, it's once you learn what to expect, and
yeah,
and like how much pain you're to expect, I would say it'd be easier.
Yes, and it is. Eventually, we were going to do it this show, but we had some people that couldn't make it. So eventually we're going to do a hardcore invitational. And I know that I'm going to be a part of it. I think one half of Los Chimicas is going to be a part of it. I think Gavin Alexander is going to be a part of it. I think we're even going to bring Joey Grunge in on it. And then the 2 that I'm excited about, and everybody thinks I'm stupid, and I might be. Everybody's like, no, dude, you're going to die. I was like, no, I'm not scared. I'm excited. I want to face them, and those are going to be the 2 that I go after first, which is the Amazing Pookie and Mickey Knuckles. And I've seen Mickey Knuckles. I know what to expect from her. I know she's a bad bitch. Like but I'm not scared. I'm something I'm looking forward to.
Oh yeah. They got me in there after one of the shows and chopped me.
Oh.
And I took I thought I was getting one chop because at the first show we done at DCCW, there was another podcast there as well.
Yeah.
It was some younger guys that was trying to do a show, and they were there, and they were streaming live as well. But one of their guys got in there and took a chop. Well, then they started calling us out. Well, my cousin, or not them, but one of the promoter, Terry, he was on the microphone. He was trying to get one of us to come down there and take a chop. Well, my cousin that does it with me, he disappeared. He's like, he wasn't going. Well, then the guy running the camera kind of backed off. Well, I have back trouble and I have a bunch of nerve and muscle issues going on. So there's some days I can't hardly even move. Well, so I was like, well, one of us have to go. We're going to look like little bitches. So I went down there. So I walked down there and they get me in the ring. Well, I think I'm taking one chop. Next thing I know, I get three. And it was Dex Royal.
Oh.
Got me.
Okay.
And then JKO, Joey Owens, who's known.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he's known. That's why he's known for.
Yes. I was in a handicap match with him against this new kid that Joey brought in, and I went up against him and got a few chops from him. And actually, I don't know. I didn't mention anything earlier because I don't know how much permission I have to say. But I mean, I actually, if you look up WCWO and Eric Valkry, there's a match on there that I was still very green. I was still learning, but so it's not one of my best works. But for the humor alone between myself and Joey Owens was pretty humorous looking back at it.
Oh, I bet.
So I mean, it was I took a lot. He did a lot to me that is just gonna have to be something that we're just gonna have to watch.
Yeah, I like Joey. He's been good to us. But I like but not only do I like him as a person, but I love watching him in the ring. He's a good performer.
He is a very good performer.
And then after he chopped me, which I'm not gonna lie, he got me and almost went down to my knees.
Yeah.
And then Max Sterling got me.
I haven't been.
And luckily that was it. But yeah, I was bruised for probably about a week.
Oh, I'm sure. Hell, there's times where I even say I'd rather take a chair shot than a chop by some of these people. Some of these people got those chops, and I'm like, no, just put me through a table. Just put some thumbtacks in my head, wrap me around barbed wire. Just don't chop me. Damn it.
It didn't feel too bad a little bit afterwards, but it'll sting for a minute. And then at the beginning of the bruising, like you can like even when you put a T-shirt on and your shirt goes up against it, you can feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then after that, it wasn't that bad. It looked worse than what it was.
Right. And it always does, but it's always that initial just whack. You're like, ooh.
Oh yeah. and then at the last show, the promoter called me up in the ring. Well, my son, it was the first show my son had been with us when we have done commentary. And he had his head down, wasn't watching. I guess he thought I was gonna get in the ring and do something. I'm like, dude, I'm just getting in the ring. He was letting me get in the ring, and he gave me the microphone, let me plug our show, and basically let everybody know that we was gonna be airing it the next day since we didn't get to go live.
That's funny.
I started to get in the ring, and one of the fans there, I don't know if you, I call him the super fan, Marcus Fine.
Okay, yeah.
He was there, and he got the crowd chanting my name as I was getting into the ring. I'm like, I was like, okay, I ain't used to all this.
Yeah, it's fun getting used to some of that stuff. I really hate to say this, but my phone is heating up. My phone's not the best.
Oh no, I was getting ready to ask you as well if there's anything else you want to talk about or you'd like to plug.
Other than the fact that come to Bloomington, Indiana, January 29th, and come see us. We will put on a hell of a show, and this year we promise our shows will get better and better. And if you don't see boo me, cheer me, I don't care.
Like I said, we was at the last MPG show. We enjoyed it. We'll be there January 29th.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you.
So I had it marked down as the 8th, and as soon as I saw the change, I was looking to see if it was going to interfere with any of our other dates, and it don't. So I was like, cool.
We look forward to having you guys there.
Man, I think I appreciate you coming on. You're more than welcome to come back on again. And like I said, at one of the shows, if you'd like to do some commentary with us, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
We always set up an extra microphone and usually have it muted. That way, if somebody comes over, we have a microphone set up and ready for them.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys have an awesome day.
You too. Have a good Christmas, and I will talk to you later.
All right. See you guys.
All right. See you. All right. I hope everybody enjoyed that interview. Before we get out of here, I got a few things to talk about real quick. Don't forget, we're live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern with Easy Money, a sports betting show. That show's live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We're also live at 1 p.m. Eastern with G.W.R. Gonzo Sports Room. That show's also live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can find both those shows in podcast form on Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Most places you listen to podcasts, you can find us. This interview right here will be on our GSR podcast network either later today or tomorrow. You can also find it on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Check out our YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Hit the bell so you get notifications, so you always know when we're going to be live and you won't miss it. We appreciate all the support. Check out our merch store, streamlabs.com/Gonzalez Sports /merch. You can see some of the t-shirts here behind me. Go on there and get you some G.W.R. GSR gear. We greatly appreciate it. We also have a donation page set up at that same link if you'd like to donate to the show to help the show grow. We greatly appreciate that as well. We will be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. with Easy Money, a sports betting show. Again at 1 p.m. with GSR Gonzo Sports Room. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today. If you guys don't join us tomorrow, or we'll be live all the way. We'll even be live on Friday on Christmas Eve. So if we don't see you before then, hope everybody has a good Christmas. If you're traveling to go see family, stay safe. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace.